Hello GCSE students, and welcome to the first Medicine Through Time flipped classroom lecture. Today we're going to focus on the work of a crucial individual who goes by the name of John Snow.
So, the question that you're probably asking straight away is, who was John Snow? Well, Snow was a London doctor, and he had seen the deaths which cholera epidemics had caused in 1848 and 1854. Hold on, I'm probably getting a bit ahead of myself. What is cholera, I hear you ask?
Well, cholera is an infection of the small intestine caused by the bacterium Vibrio cholerae. The main symptoms are watery, diarrhoea and vomiting. Transmission occurs primarily by drinking water or eating food that has been contaminated by the faeces, love that word, waste product of an infected person, including one with no apparent symptoms. The severity of the diarrhoea and vomiting can lead to rapid dehydration and electrolyte imbalance, and eventually death in some cases.
What was certainly the case was that in the middle of the 19th century, lots of drinking water was taken from infected sources, such as the Thames. This is shown in this classic cartoon from Punch magazine. I was going to read cartoon.
In fact, things are so bad that lots of people actually turned to drinking beer rather than water because they thought it was more healthy.
Okay, so back to the main man, John Snow. He actually did his work in the Soho area of London, around Broad Street. If you go there today, you can still see a memorial to him and his work.
At this time, the Soho area of London had serious problems with water and the amount of filth in general. Part of the problem was that the London sewer system had not reached this far. The government could not help matters by dumping overflowing cesspools into the Thames and contaminating the water supply, leading to the cholera outbreak. It was just disgusting.
The situation was so bad around Broad Street that in the first 3 days of the cholera epidemic, 127 people had died. By the end of the week, 3/4 of the residents had fled the area. The mortality rate in areas such as Soho was over 12%. Our hero, John Super Snow, stated that it was the most terrible outbreak of cholera which had ever occurred in his kingdom.
Would you like me to take the hat for a bit?
Yeah, please.
The work of Louis Pasteur had not been done, and wouldn't be done for another 7 years. But Snow was already a skeptic of the miasma theory, which talked about bad air. Snow used meticulous research, really thorough research, observations and house-to-house discussions in order to get to the bottom of the problem.
The main thing that Snow discovered was that people had been getting ill through drinking the water that they were getting from the Broad Street pump. He couldn't prove this through his microscopic investigation of the water, but more through the pattern of the illness that he managed to plot. One
of his key pieces of evidence was to do with beer. He visited the local brewery and discovered that of the 70 workmen that worked there, none of them had fallen ill with the disease, mainly because they were allowed to drink some beer. In fact, the boss, Mr. Huggins, didn't think that they drank any water at all.
John Snow became famous for using a spot diagram which pinpointed where people had died. This could all then be traced to the Broad Street pump. Snow also showed that the Southwark and Vauxhall Waterworks Company was taking water from the sewage-polluted sections of the Thames and actually delivering the water to people's homes. It sounds crazy, but remember that people's understanding of disease was not fully developed at this time.
Now I should imagine that you're thinking that most people must have been grateful to our Mr. Snow for what he'd done. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? However, in many ways, it was the opposite that was actually the case.
The government at this time was still reluctant to involve themselves in matters of public health. Remember that the 1848 Public Health Act had not been made the conditions of the public health compulsory. And they still demonstrated a laissez-faire attitude, basically the idea that they should not involve themselves in other people's lives.
This is a far cry from today, where we expect our government to provide certain services for us, and where our taxes are supposed to contribute to the services governments provide.
The government did replace the Broad Street pump. This was about it. They just wanted to respond to the immediate needs of the population. They actually rejected Snow's theory about it being passed from people's waste in the water that was then drunk, the oral fecal method of transmission, mainly because it was too unpleasant for people to contemplate.
Okay, this concludes our first Flip lecture. Hopefully you got a full understanding of the work of Jon Snow. Feel free to make your own notes based on what we've said. You can rewind us, play us over and over again, and get ready to use this in class next week. The video will be saved on Kite, and you'll also be able to access it on YouTube whenever you need it. All right. See you next